What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man Solace here, the humble servant of the life. Today I want to do this video because the other day I did a video called The Ancient Mayans Were on Crack. And I was wrong. What I should have said was, not only were the ancient Mayans on crack, but everybody was on crack. In dope, in weed, in all types of drugs we haven't even figured out how to make yet. So y'all gotta grasp this. Now I know the video was hilarious and a lot of y'all got a good laugh out of it. But I hope y'all got the knowledge out of it and didn't think it was a joke. Because whatever I say, no matter if I'm laughing, cursing a person out, is truth in the words. You just gotta grasp what you hearing. Now we gotta understand, drugs are not new. You have to have common sense to know that. Drugs come from plants. Plants are not new. Whatever knowledge we have now, it is from the past, meaning each civilization knows what they know because of the civilization that predated them. It was passed down. So all the drug uses we have now, they had in the past, and they had many more. Everything I know, my child isn't going to know. Grasp that. Everything I know about everything they won't know. They'll know some of everything I know. So all the things they did and used drugs for, we only know 40%. Meaning, all the things you see us in today's times doing and using drugs for, all the different varieties of drugs we have, they had more back then. We only have 40% of the knowledge. So you have to grasp that. So when I say the Mayans smoked crack, it shouldn't sound absurd to you. Yet it does. Mind you, you know drugs ain't new. I know you may have confused yourself and said, oh, but we use baking soda and whatever. They could have freebased it. How? A lot of y'all don't even know what that is. Crack is when you cook it with soda, baking soda. Freebase is when you just freebase it. So you gotta grasp, man. But whatever the case may be, they were smoking crack. They were using cocaine and all of these drugs for many things. Now, let me explain something to y'all. The ancients didn't view drugs how we view them today. We view drugs today as a bad thing. They didn't view drugs as a bad thing. They viewed drugs as a gift from God. Literally. Y'all gotta grasp this. They thought cocaine was a gift from God. The coca leaf, cocaine, they thought that was a gift from God, as well as all the other drug plants. They literally looked at this as a gift from God. It was like a key to the spiritual realm. So they would use the drugs to tap in to the spiritual realm and deal with the things that men don't see. So the drugs was a deep thing to them. It wasn't like how we use it for medical purposes or just to get high and that crazy. They used it to tap into the spiritual. So now if you go back far enough, if a person was using drugs, they were under the supervision of a priest. Because the priest understood the use of the drug. Because a person could use drugs and then lose it. So you see how today motherfuckers use drugs and then they go crazy. This is why you needed a priest back in the day. Because they were the ones actually making the recipe of the different drugs. And they would monitor over you when you used the drugs and went into the spiritual realm, which we would call a motherfucker just beaming to Scotty. That's what we call it today. You see a motherfucker cracked out, you like, he beamed up to Scotty. That nigga's high. He's a zombie. Now, this happened back in the day too, where people abused the drugs and overdosed on it and became crazy. And this is where demons and things came from, because they would say that these people had the demons on them. Because drugs were the gate or the portal to the spiritual. So if a motherfucker was on the dope and he started tweaking, the demons had him. So you gotta grasp. Just like today, we say the monkey on his back. So we gotta grasp. Everything we try to make so deep and brothers try to sound like they so intelligent is because they don't understand. Whatever you got now going on now, same was it happening in the past. Y'all got this all wrong. Now fully grasp. Drugs was the gateway to the spiritual. This is what they dealt with that shit for. But, and of course, you know in anything, people get out of hand. So then, of course, you got other motherfuckers on the sidelines just doping up. But when I say they was on crack, it's a fact. Now, I'm going to give y'all some history on coke. For over 5,000 years, it has been documented that the people in North and South America have been using the coca leaf, the peyote cactus, and the San Pedro cactus to get high and for medicinal purposes. So grasp. It's a deep thing. They would chew it, they would sniff it, they would smoke it, shoot it. They had many different ways of using the drugs. Way more than we have. They had many different recipes, meaning you could make cocaine out of coke. You could make crack out of coke. You could make Novocaine for medicinal purposes out of coke, for numbing and denture work. So you could make coke for different purposes if you have the recipe. So they had a variety of recipes for cocaine, and they used it. So grasp that. Now, in 1505, coke was brought to Europe by Amerigo. Coke was also accepted as money at one point in time. You could have paid your taxes with that shit. The Incas had coke plantations in Peru. The Spanish took those shits over as soon as they got here. This is how coke was more important than gold. Like, let's be real here. Just like today times. Gold is very valuable. But that shit ain't more valuable than cocaine. None of the drugs. So let's get real. This shit has always been about business, whether trade or whatever. Always been about business. This is why natural resources is important. This is why I keep trying to teach y'all this. Because y'all think law matters. Law is man-made. If you got cocaine on your land, you can sell it and do what the hell you want in real life. Fuck the slavery system. So coke and all these drugs ain't bad. It comes from the life. If you choose to abuse it and do stupid shit with it, then that's on you. And that's like anything in life, even food. If you want to abuse it, then you're going to be fat and obese, and that's on you. So we just got to grasp, man. Now, the Bishop of Cusco, if I said that correctly, but a bishop used to accept cocaine as tithes. You could pay your tithes with cocaine. So y'all got this all wrong, and it's because of law. Alcohol was illegal at one point in time too, so just grasp. And then before that it wasn't. And now it's not again. But it's illegal if you ain't selling this shit out of liquor store. So this all has to do with controlling people. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Motherfuckers would accept tithes and coke. Meaning when you go to church, your preacher would accept cocaine. Deep shit. Y'all gotta grasp. In 1574, texts written on different cocaine recipes and use of it was translated into European languages. This is when they started fucking with the yayo. So what's the deep thing? We got a history of drug addicts. Everybody was on drugs. And y'all truly don't understand this. Y'all think it was a joke or some crazy shit. Now I want to get into some of the things that I said on the video that might have sounded completely absurd to some of y'all. Like when I said Akhenaten was smoking crack. And I know a lot of y'all laughed and said, yo, this nigga crazy. Just like when I said Akhenaten was a faggot. And motherfuckers act like that's so absurd. Like you don't see gay people now. Excuse my language. I'm old school. There was no terminology for gay people. You just called them whatever. They called themselves faggots. But gay people. When I said Akhenaten was gay, people got mad. Especially the Kemetic followers. Mind you see gay people now. Cut it out. They say, oh, you can't be gay in Africa. You can't be gay nowhere, but motherfuckers gonna do what they want. But let's just stick to the drugs. Now, when I said Akhenaten was on crack, he was. Now, you need proof? Grasp this. A Dr. Svetla Balabamona, if I said it right. But basically, a doctor named Svetla found traces of nicotine and cocaine in the mummy of Lady Henu or Henut. She was a part of the ruling class 3,000 years ago. This is in the times of Akhenaten 3,000 years ago. Now, if she was of the ruling class, meaning she was someone of importance, she probably wasn't the queen or something like that, but she was close tied. Now, if she had access to cocaine and nicotine, meaning cigarettes, chewing tobacco, whatever, you think Akhenaten didn't have access to that? Get real. The ancients were smoking crack. They viewed it as their way to the drugs, coke, all these drugs, all the hallucinogens that we use. They viewed these drugs as ways to the gods, or the ancestors, or the spiritual world. So this is what they used it for. And then, this is before people lost sight of the purpose. Meaning, you did this, you were monitored, and when you was using the drug, you was already in your thoughts, I'm going to tap into the ancestors. So when you start bugging the fuck out, you was bugging out on a straight path to what you was doing. Motherfuckers smoke drugs now with no thoughts. So then you just start tweaking out of nowhere. So when they was doing this, and I'm not saying it's wrong, because it's probably something to that. Like on some real shit. Everything in this life is for its purpose. So the drugs and things we use today, I'm not talking about the Tylenol and shit and Robitussin. I'm talking about the real drugs. I'm sure if you're using them under the care of someone who has knowledge in that, you probably could tap into the spiritual world and actually do something. Grasp what I'm saying? Actually have a conversation with a ancient spirit or something of this sense. You probably could, but people do not have that knowledge today. So don't let anyone lie to you and say, oh yeah, I like how that sound, let me act like I know how to do that. They don't. I'm being real with you. Don't nobody know, because we don't do these things no more. You don't go to church to get high and tap into the ancestors. You go to church and drink grape juice and eat crackers. But back in the day, they went to church and got high and actually really tapped in. So when they was tweaking to a purpose. Now, I'm sure some of them got faded to the point where they was overdoing it, but you get the point. So it's just like I said, Akhenaten was smoking crack and a whole bunch of other drugs just like everybody else. Now, when I said the Mayans was eating weed and smoking crack, I know niggas had a kick like, oh, this shit is hilarious. But it's true. They used to eat weed for medicinal purposes as well as for delicacies. So we got to grasp and start knowing things. Now, for some of y'all just knuckleheads and y'all got to make something a debate of anything. But there's nothing I said that's a lie. There's more to this. We could go into details. A lot of the famous people y'all view as great was drug addicts, hard, heavy drug users. I smoke marijuana, but I ain't never dealt with no heavy drug. I can't tell you anything about what cocaine, I sell these shits, but in my day, but I don't use them. I just smoke weed. I don't even drink. So grasp when I tell you, a lot of the motherfuckers y'all follow now, and y'all view as great back in the day was on fucking drugs. And they didn't know what they was doing with the drugs. So you could believe them if you want. That they was tapping in and talking to they was high. Like crazy ass niggas get high today and tweak the fuck out on that Molly. Same shit back in the day. Grasp that. Now, through marijuana, I know how you could tap into the ancestors. But as far as the other drugs, no, I don't. But I'm sure it's the same process. Now, am I going to tell y'all? No, because y'all just want any excuse to get high. But some of my knowledge and understanding that I get it through the use of marijuana. But I don't smoke marijuana as y'all do, all day, hot out. No, I'm sober throughout the day. So when I do get high, there's some sort of control. This is why I'm able to get high and still move around. A lot of people get high, they get lazy when they on that bud. I don't. So through the drugs, you can tap into things. If you want to get lost in all this astral projection and all this goofbag shit that ain't gonna lead you nowhere, do you. If you want to get with real shit and get real understanding, get you a laugh here and there, knowing that you still getting true knowledge, you follow your boy Solace. It's that simple. Follow me so that you can begin to learn from the life. You're supposed to be watching me to understand how you can read the life. So therefore, anything that a man reads to you or tells you, you can understand because you already know shit. Can't nobody bullshit talk me because I already know truth. So if what you saying don't line up with truth all the way from the beginnings, because you know me, I go back to quarks, gluons, leptons. I go all the way back to the forces. This is where my knowledge goes. So if you're not staying in course with truth from beginnings and you talking dodo bird shit, I ain't got nothing to say. I mean, you can say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, we need to get knowledge. We need to get an understanding of the ancients. We need to get an understanding on all the knowledge we have. And y'all need to begin to understand the sperm is the spirit. This is why y'all don't grasp nothing right. Because y'all ain't grasped that yet. But it's your main man Solace, man. The Mayans were on crack. The people of ancient Kim were on crack. Everybody was on crack, baby.